What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G, Two Gun Picture presents Legendary Gaming. Alright, welcome back to another invasion of Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. And what are we getting invaded by?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Big John G, 5 favorite.
That's not quite right, my friends. We are talking 6. Not 5. We are talking 6. My 6 favorite games for this time of the year. And this time, we are covering my 6 favorite zombie games. There are so many zombie games out in the market. I categorize them under their own title. You've already seen my 6 favorite general horror themes. And after this one, we have one more left. But why don't we shuffle off to the table and talk about some darn good zombie games. All right, my 6 favorite zombie games. Coming in at number 6. By Steve Jackson Games, Munchkin Zombie. This is a game that's good for 3 to 6 players, ages 10 and up. It might run you about 90 minutes or a little more. The ending of the game can be a game in itself sometimes. This is a vicious take that game. The entire system is really built around that. The object of the game is that you kick in a door, fight and kill a monster, steal its treasure. That's how you level up. Whoever gets to level 10 first is the winner. During the game, you can cooperate with each other, you can help each other out, make deals with each other. Hey, I'm not powerful enough to take this monster. I see it has 2 treasures. If you help me fight this, I'll give you a treasure. Hey, that works. Until you get near the end of the game. Yeah, people aren't so quick to help you then. They're a lot quicker to help the monsters. Because you can do that in this game too. You can play cards that will help yourself, other players, or even the monsters. Although it is very cutthroat, it is extremely hysterical. From the drawings to the spoofs of what they are, the cards deliver the laughs. And as you're playing them on each other, yeah, it can get a little annoying, but at least it's a funny card. Now, this game has tons of expansions. Well, they all have tons of expansions. Actually, they are all expansions of themselves in a sense, because every single Munchkin game can integrate with any other Munchkin game. Like, you could integrate the Munchkin Zombie with the Cthulhu Munchkin game for Halloween. You know, the zombies are all rising while the Cthulian lords are awakening. So it works in well together. This game is going to be fun, but it's going to drag on at the end a little bit. Just be prepared for that. Otherwise, yeah, I'm proud to have this as my number 6 slot for my 6 favorite zombie games to play for Halloween. Number 5 by USAopoly. Bang! The Walking Dead. This is based on the popular Bang the card game. And it is good for 4 to 7 players, ages 13 and up. Should take you about 30 minutes. If you're a fan of the comic book or the television show, you are going to find this extremely thematic. It's a hidden role, hidden traitor game. Everyone knows who the leader of the survivors is, but nobody really knows who's loyal and who's not, and who's only loyal to themselves. It's a guessing game as you're trying to knock out the competition before they take out your leader. The familiar IP and characters of the game really draw you in and make it so much more fun to play if you're fans of basically the graphic novel, because that's what it is based on, but through that, even the television show, you're going to find similarities that are going to pull you right into these characters. They do have an expansion for the game, We Are the Walking Dead. It'll add in new characters, new equipment, and bulk up the base game. Now, if you're fans of Bang the card game, you know that there is a dice version of it, Bang the dice game. That is the same case here. If you prefer rolling the dice to casting the cards, then just simply pick up Bang the Walking Dead, the dice game. This is a fast game. It's great. It's going to work really well with multiple people. It plays up to 7. So it's going to work good with a small, larger party. Or would that be a large, smaller party? And it does lack the problem that, though, when somebody's eliminated from their character's killed, they're eliminated from the game at the table. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, if you're looking for a really fast and thematically great Walking Dead game, this is it. Number 4. By Flying Frog Production, Last Night on Earth, the zombie game. This game is good for 2 to 6 players, ages 12 and up. It's going to run you close to 90 minutes. 2 players who know the game, you can get it done in an hour, maybe a little less, but look at least 90 minutes for the game time on this. This is a beautiful piece of cinematic B-movie zombie awesomeness. It really is. They go for that feel and they hit a home run trying to achieve it. Now this uses art. Well, it doesn't use art. This uses an artistic style where they have actors, cosplayers. So the images on the cards, in the rule books, your characters themselves, they're real. And that adds into the whole feeling, the experience, the thematic experience of being in a really cool B-zombie film. And that is where the thematicness of this game lies. And it relies on you to have some sort of interest in it. Because if you do, this is going to be a home run. Now, on top of that, add in some really cool minis. Move them around the board, look at them. They're just, you like miniatures. Miniatures, they feel good in our hands. They're 3-dimensional, so we enjoy looking at them. And this game, it gives you good miniatures. The board is a modular board, so that helps making it look different every time. You're not going to play the next game and it's going to look like the same last game. It's not going to do that. And that's one of the reasons why I like the modular boards for. Oh, did I not mention that this is a 1 versus all game? Could be a 2 versus all game, depending on how many players you have at the table. Yeah, so most of the players are going to be playing the humans trying to escape. But the 1 or 2, they're the zombies. Now, each set of players do have their own deck, so there are human cards and there are zombie cards, each giving advantages to themselves and disadvantages to the others. This is one of the fewer games that actually allows players to play the zombies, and that's always a plus in my book. Oh, and if you're really interested in making this thematically deeper of a game, Flying Frog Productions, they give CDs inside their games with thematically matching music. So turn down the lights, put on the music, and really get into the feel of this zombie game. It has an expansion. They do support it with an expansion, Timber Peaks, which will add more zombies, more cards, more humans, more cards, and another board. Now, on top of that, Flying Frog Productions, this is a side note here. Flying Frog Productions has another game that uses the same mechanics, the same engine for the system, and that's called Invasion from Outer Space, the Martian game. And it can integrate with this one. You can have the two games put together. You can use them from both or the other, back and forth. So you can have a zombie apocalypse during a Martian attack on the Earth. Does it get more B than that? No. No, it certainly does not. Unless the great Cthulhu himself was about to rise, it's not going to get any more awesome than a zombie apocalypse during a Martian attack. Number 3 from Queen Games, Darker, Darkest. This is another very thematic game. In fact, if you're at all familiar with Resident Evil, then you are slightly familiar with this game already. You're investigating a house. Now, unlike a lot of other zombie games, you're not trying to escape. You're not trying to survive until a certain turn when you will win the game. You are actively trying to find the source and put an end to the reign of zombies. And in this old dilapidated mansion, which seems to have an awfully upgraded modern surveillance tech system in it, it's on fire! The place is burning down around you as you're playing the game, adding to a sense of tension that you really need in a horror game. This is a cooperative game. Keep that in mind in case you're looking for all versus all. Now, the miniatures in this game look great. They make you want to play the game. They're fun, they're done well, and they look good on the board. Oh, and that board is modular. Another modular board. We just talked about one. So I don't have to tell you how much I like them. So let's just move on to how this game, you don't need to play against another player, because it is set up with a great AI system which really hinders the hell out of the players. Another thing I like about this game is that there are aspects of it, there are parts of it that are not only problem solving, but at some points in the game, you really have to go into stealth mode. This game isn't always all about attack, attack, attack. And I like that. That's different for a zombie game. Oh, we are so close, my friends. The number 2 game. Steve Jackson is back. And this time with zombie dice. I honestly love this. This game is one of my favorite games, hands down. I think it's always going to be in my top 5. It's never out of my top 7. Just off the top of my head thinking about it. It's just really fun. I brought my version of this game with me everywhere I've gone. Everywhere I've traveled, here in the country, out of the country, this game has always gone with me because it's easy to travel with. Now, this game is good for 2 to 99 players ages 10 and up, and it should take you 10 to 20 minutes to play it. Now, keep in mind, if you are 100 years old, get out. Leave. You cannot play. No, I'm just kidding. The age is right, 2 to 99, because that looks cute or something. Now, this game can accommodate as many players as you need, because all you're doing is rolling 3 dice at a time. It has a little bit of a Yahtzee quality to it, where you're not actually going to cash out until you decide your turn is over. And it might end before you want it to. You see, in this game, you are a zombie and you are trying to eat brains. In fact, you need 13 brains in order to win the game. And you keep track of those brains after you cash out. So you could score 5, 6, 7 brains, but then you get shot 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Your turn's over. You get 0 of those points. It is really fun to have the chance to play a zombie. Especially in such a quick, fast game. It's just throwing some dice. It's really all in your imagination. But that doesn't make it any less fun. There are 2 great expansions for this game. One that introduces Santa Claus die. It's called Double Feature. And one of those features is the Santa Claus die, which adds a die that you can exchange for one of the existing dice in the base game. And you may get a double brain. Or maybe Santa will give you a gift. Maybe an energy drink, so those pesky kids can't run away anymore. Or maybe a helmet, so you can take an extra hit. And then there's the other part of the double feature with the hottie and the hunk. There's a pink die and a white die. Again, you're going to exchange them for 2 of the base dice. And these are similar, where they have a couple of added features to them, just as the Santa die did. And in this one, he has a lot more attacks that will mess you up, and she has a lot more runaways. But the best part of these 2 is they can rescue each other. If you haven't cashed out yet and you have one of them, if you have the hunk and the hottie shoots you, she can save the hunk, and vice versa. Really fun. And then, Zombie Dice 3, the big 12-sided die, the school bus. Yeah, a school bus full of teenage brains to eat. Yeah, it's not as easy as you think, though. Some of those kids have shotguns with them. Sometimes the bus driver hits the brakes and you go flying out of the bus. It's not easy being a zombie in the zombie apocalypse. I've always found this game to be highly addictive. Anytime I put this down on the table, it has become immediately addictive with players. It is such a fun game. You can get it out, you can play it, you can be done with it in no time. Great little filler game while you're waiting for the rest of the Halloween party to show up. Now, my number 1 personal favorite zombie game is by Plaid Hat Games. In fact, you can just barely see it behind me. All the way at the end in the middle. Dead of Winter, a Crossroads game. This is good for 2 to 5 players, ages 13 and up minimum. And it should run you 60 minutes, maybe 2 hours. I like to think of this game as a communal, cooperative, secret goals betrayal smorgasbord. The idea is the zombie apocalypse has swept over the world as far as you know. But so has the coldest, snowiest winter ever seen. And you and your friends are trapped. There's a bunch of other survivors trapped also. Some of them are even helpless. Oh. And the cold and the snow hasn't slowed down the zombies. So you have to secure your place, and you have to go out and get supplies. You have to manage supplies. You have to manage cleaning the place up. And you have to manage morale. Morale of the other survivors. And then there are times you're going to have to play a crossroads card. These are hardcore. Some of them are leaving a little bit of adult. Their marks are so on the bottom. Some of them are quite violent, and are marked so on the bottom. These markings allow you to take them out of the deck if you don't want to play with them. But even so, these are hard choices that you have to make. Sometimes there's no right answer. There are 2 great expansions for this game. One of them is a standalone expansion. You don't need the first game for Dead of Winter the Long Night. You can play either of them without the use of the other. Or you can combine them to add more locations, more survivors, and more equipment, and a lot of everything. All the other cards. It's the same but different. But then the next expansion, Warring Colonies, it does that as well. But on top of that, if you have the 2, let's call them base boxes, you can combine them for a huge game. I think it runs up to 11. Because it is literally 2 surviving colonies trying to survive. Oh, and it also adds in, if you want to use so, a lone wolf to throw in the mix and really mess up everyone's day. This doesn't use miniatures. They use standees, and the art on these standees is amazing. It really stands out. I enjoy looking at them, and I actually like it better, in this case anyway, than if they had used miniatures. Not many games incorporate weather into the system. This one does. There's a reason why it is dead of winter. Whenever you have to go outside, you can actually get frostbite. You can die just going out into the weather trying to get supplies. But you need to go out and get those supplies. You have to risk it. Not many games incorporate the weather. And in this case, it works perfectly. So those are my personal favorite 6 zombie games. Now, I have to tell you right up front, it was not all that easy to pick them. I don't find a great deal of difference in a lot of zombie games, and I don't really feel like there's a lot of good ones. It was tough for me to make these choices. And I can't remember all the ones I did last year, but I do notice that number 6 from last year's list, Tiny Epic Zombies, didn't make the cut this time. I wish it had. I had higher hopes for it. But still, I struggle to find a really good different zombie board game. What are your 6 favorites? I really want to know. It's like I said, I kind of want to expand and see if there's any more good zombie board games out there. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for checking us out, as well as going over to Two Gun Pixie on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We do drop things over there occasionally, so thank you for keeping an eye out and seeing what we're doing over there. You know we have the Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store, our print on demand, where I got some great nerdy and RPG-inspired hats, shirts, mugs, steins, mouse pads, flip-flops. So, thank you everyone that's been going over and taking a look and seeing if there's anything that catches your eye. That's very cool that you do so. And I know a few have made some purchases, so that's even cooler. But even if you're just going over to browse, just take a look. That's amazing. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Most of all, we're here. We're here on YouTube. This is our home. And I want to thank you very much for coming over here, subscribing to our channel, watching the videos, liking them, commenting on them. And thank you very much when you share them. That's amazing. That you want to advertise us to someone else because you liked a video, you liked something about the video, you liked what the topic we were talking about, how we talked about it, whatever. It was something that you liked. And you enjoyed spending your time with us, so you wanted to tell someone else. That's great whenever you do that for any content creator. You're awesome. Thank you so very much for sharing Two Gun Pixie. Well, I'm your buddy, Big Johnny G for, well, like I just said, Two Gun Pixie. All right, everyone, I am out of here.